So we were just talking about an experience I had last night where I got really overwhelmed by an emotion because I was in a meeting with a bunch of people and someone spoke to me in a way that I felt really embarrassed.
Meeting only men,
Yes, it was.
businessmen, and
Yes,
so
yes,
you're being the only woman there.
yes.
So that's already not easy, and they've been considering you and every time doing this mastermind as the lower one. So
Yes, exactly. I asked a question that was, I thought, a good question, and the man answered me as if I was an idiot, and then I felt embarrassed. And then we were talking about this because I was going into like, oh, what does this connect to from my childhood? Like bringing my presence to be with everything that was coming up and learning things from it, etc., etc. And then you said to me,
yeah, I say that in this situation, because you are a Dzogchen practitioner, there's only one truth: is to go back to natural state. Because when you are in a natural state, you will know exactly what to say. Maybe you're going to strike like lightning to this person, or maybe you're going to say something very subtle, or maybe you're going to retrieve and stay in your position. But it doesn't go through your mind. You know, it's not by analyzing and trying to understand that you will find the solution. But because you are a practitioner, you know about natural state, then it is, oh, and now I'm out, so I go back to it. Do use the mean, but you know that works for you, which is just, oh, okay, I'm back to natural state. And then from there, you relax, integrate, and let it unfold, and allow yourself to be yourself. Not by closing yourself down or trying to say, oh, I cannot say that or this, that. Just allow it to be without behind fear. In my case, I had so many situations where I'm very bold like this, especially in Asia, where I'm confronted to large public with some gurus and everything. I just do what I have to do. It's like if you think about more in a religious way, it's like the grace is working for you. So you are becoming the instrument of grace. Natural state is this. The energy is flowing through you. You just allow it to be expressed. And when you express it, you don't lose this presence of your natural state, awareness of the natural state.
yeah, and we were both noticing that sometimes I have this tendency to repress the emotion and then analyze it, and you were saying, well, then it goes into the body and then it kind of freezes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that I was like, oh, well, okay, so maybe it needs to be expressed, or maybe it needs to be moved, or maybe released in some way.
Yeah, what we are talking also about is about, let's say, the point of light, because you mentioned then you have to step back, and I was saying, yes, if you step back, it's okay, but you're still in duality, you cannot just say, okay, I go back to myself. Then it's still dual, because you have this thing in front of you and yourself. Then it's still separation, And then I was making a point, just analogy, I think you say in English, but to try to help you to understand that it is like, whatever energy is there, the joy, the pain, the bliss, the natural state is like you have is the particle of light that animate all those energies. So whatever, if you are or if you are very gentle, the particle of light don't change. You are aware of those particles of light, which are your natural state.
Yeah, because I was trying to say like, oh, there's my consciousness that is very alive and animated, and then there's these layers of maybe the mind or the body, the personality, and if I can bring the two, like bring my consciousness into full connection, full presence with these layers, then it liberates them. But then you were explaining there is no center.
Yeah, there's no center, because when you do like this, you're still in duality, because you are separating the layers, and you are looking from one point to look at the layers with analyzing and trying to understand. So it means they're all separate one to the other, even if they are linked by a thread, but they separate. But it's not like seeing things for what they are, you know. So then I give another example. If it's like you have a picture and you see a pixel of the pictures, pixel of the pictures. If the pixel is very low, everything is flurry, you know. So this flurriness will be like you know, you are into your stuck into the emotion, or stuck into the thought, or stuck into the manifestation of energy. Even it's all flurry. You cannot see what is really there, you know. So because you cannot see what is really there, when you ask questions to yourself, oh, but what is this? What is that? You know.
Yeah.
But this fogginess doesn't go away. It becomes even more foggy. You know, the pixel will get even worse. You know. But if you are when you are in a natural state, it's like the pixel become very sharp. So you know, and more your natural state grows, it becomes sharper. So you can see all very little details. And then when you see all the details, you understand without asking questions, because you see things for what they are.
But how do I remember to do this in the middle of the meeting when the guy says something to me and I feel embarrassed?
This is development of the practice. You know, for example, you just do go yoga, just to manifest, integrate the state of a guru in you, and you relax. And this will help you to reconnect with it. It's just an example. There's other ways, but so many different ways from different people work different way. You know? So it's just the recall, you know, reminder. Like first one is to remind, and then you integrate more and more as you develop the practice. But if you have to practice also in a daily, every day, to be able to help this stabilization and to develop more and more experience with natural state, let it grow in your life. You know, natural state is something, is even if it's always there, because it has been, you as all of many people, you know, has been so disconnected with it, then it has to regrow again. So when you receive direct introduction from a teacher, he plants the seed, and then maybe you have an experience for 1 second, 2 seconds. And then by developing the practice, may your experience become bigger, you know, or you can experience natural state maybe 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know. So practice is helping that. And then development in a daily life to integration is the same. So it's to be able to recognize when you are not in it, to recall, oh, now I'm lost, you know. So I do same thing that I did in my practice, to go back to it, to bring the awareness back to it. Let's say like this, because it's always there. You never lose it.
And that's what it means, integration.
Integration, it means that you are able to stay with the natural state no matter what. So your capacity of integration grow, you know. So maybe you can integrate one type of energy, but not the other type. You know, maybe you can integrate when you are doing your daily task in your house, cleaning the house, making the cooking, and you're able to remain natural state because something is familiar, it's not very challenging, you know. So because it's familiar, then you can relax and you don't lose the awareness of the natural state. But when it becomes more difficult, like you go very crowded place and it's very crazy, and then you are so much distracted by so many things, and your energy also go down because you are very sensible, then it's more difficult to integrate. You know, or sexual orgasm is the highest difficulty of integration. When you are at the peak of the orgasm, can you maintain natural state? Or you get lost into the sensation of the orgasm. So this is an integration. You know, and when integration is happening in different situations, there is inner alchemy that makes things joyful, blissful in a different way, satisfying in a different way, safe, very safe. you know, and the opposite is that you get fear. Oh, you have fear of this or that. But natural state allows you to feel very safe because you're home. This is your home. This is your ground. This is your base. This is the beauty of those teachings of Dzogchen. They are like Tantra, but it's the techniques, methods to get to Dzogchen. But I transmit and receive from my teachers, and also from teachers from this plane and teachers from other planes.
Thank you.